Welcome to the Report Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw Superstars spoilers for this coming week. And here's some brief news, as I'll normally do. Okay, and I only gave a brief fan report due to the fact that I only caught like 45 minutes of Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Due to my cooking and others sharing along with the cooking responsibilities. And so I only saw like 2 1/4 match. And this is why I'm doing Raw full results. Starting off with a Reason Magazine report of a libertarian-based publication is reporting that WWE star Kane, aka real name Glenn Jacobs, is open to the idea of running for the U.S. Senate. Seat in Tennessee currently held by Republican Lamar Alexander. Jacobs, who would run as a Republican, and primary Alexander, should he choose to run, has been very outspoken as of late concerning the internet sales tax law before Congress, and has a long history of libertarian activism. And you can read the report at http://reason.com/blog/2013/05/16/libertarian-wrestler-Kane-Mike-BD-CONTE. Former WWE wrestler Brian Christopher, aka Brian Lawler, has released a song, Puppies, as the first track from his forthcoming CD. The song features Christopher's WWE Hall of Fame father, Jerry the King Lawler. The CD is described as country music, and you can preview the song for free on iTunes. But to listen to it, you got to pay 99 cents at iTunes. Michelle Cool is trying something different with MichelleMcCool.net. For years, she's answered questions, written blogs, and has even tweeted back and forth on occasion with her faithful followers. This time, she's going to change it up. She's going to vlog. In her vlogs, Michelle's at her most candid, like you've never seen her before. She's talking about anything and everything, from her precious baby girl, and I just learned she had a child, to even her husband. Yeah, him. Raw and real. Michelle doesn't shy away from the controversy. It's a different side of Michelle Cool, the one you thought you'd never see. Macho Randy. Ooh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage, aka real name Randy Poffo, died on this date, 2011, when he suffered cardiac arrhythmia while driving his second wife, Barbara Lynn Payne, into Seminole, Florida. He's still not a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, though Vince McMahon did write a eulogy regarding Savage for Time magazine. WWE agent Brian Road Dogg Jesse James turned 44 years old today. He was born May 20, 1969. He and Billy Gunn continue to team occasionally as the New Age Outlaws on WWE Live events and also NXT. Andre the Giant would have turned 46. Aka real name Andre Rene Roussimoff. He was born May 19, 1946, died at the age of 46 on January 27, 1993. He was the inaugural inductee into the Hall of Fame in 1993. Retired pro wrestler Dick Slater turned 62 on Sunday. He was born May 19, 1951. Okay, so Andre the Giant was born on the 19th, which that would be Sunday. Okay, Psychosis, the Luchador star, real name of Dioncio Castellanos Torres, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, turned 42 on Sunday. He was born May 19, 1971. Hall of Famer Jimmy the Superfly Snuka, a.k.a. James William Rayer, turned 70 years old on Saturday. He was born May 18, 1943. Snuka's daughter Tamina works for WWE, and his son works for the formerly worked for the company as Deuce. Snuka was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1996. Former ECW member of the Blue World Order, the Blue Meanie, Brian Heffron, turned 40 years old on Saturday. He was born May 18, 1973. Meanie continues to work on the indie scene. And pretty soon I want to challenge him to a match. Let's see if I can pick his carcass up and give him the 318. Retired pro wrestler Gino Grito, a.k.a. Luis Gino Acasella, or Mexican Acachella, turned 72 years old. He was born May 18, 1941. Following matches are listed for the 8:15 Central airing time of the AWA on ESPN Classic Cactus Jack, and Gary Young versus Billy Joe Travis and Rick Steiner. Mike Enos versus Ali Khan. Jerry King Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich. Ron the Hands of Stone Garvin versus Reynolds. Rock and Roll Express versus Kerry Von Erich and Hangman. Soldat Ustinov versus Sergeant Slaughter was in action. The main event for the 30-minute UWF show that aired on ESPN Classic at 9:15 Central airing time was listed as Jimmy Valiant versus Viper 2. Only one match, but I guess that was 30 minutes long. RVD is now accepting independent booking, as he's been announced for June 21st show in Queens, New York, at the Elm Core Center for the Family Wrestling Entertainment Promotion. As far as his status with TNA, at last word, they haven't been in contact with him. And according to the advertising on the Raw website of the arena, they were advertising him for the show. And his opponent for FWE is none other than Tommy Dreamer. Okay, WAB has apparently released even more NXT talent this week. According to PW Insider, there's like a total of 7, if I'm not mistaken. WAB has cut Michael Hutter, who wrestled as Derek Bateman. Sakamoto, that used to be with Tensai. Ashley Miller, who was Audrey and Audrey Marie. And Ryan Nemeth, the younger brother of Dolph Ziggler. I guess he didn't have what it takes to be a WWE star. Ryan Nemeth also wrestled as Briley Pierce for the developmental roster. And other names released was Brian Traven, who worked the Midwestern independent scene as Brian Beaker before being signed to developmental. He had originally trained under Harley Race in Missouri. Percy Watson, who was released, who was signed in the company in 2009, who showed real character, but they didn't give him a chance in my eyes, and had flashes of greatness on the 5th season of NXT. Teaming with Titus O'Neil, he had been working regularly for NXT in developmental, but was never moved up to the full main roster. And female wrestler from Russia, kickboxer Anya, who was 6'1", named Anna Bogomazova, who was signed in the summer of 2012. She had been out of the ring as of late with an arm injury. Spoiler news that for this week, Dean Ambrose will defend the U.S. title against Kofi Kingston in an Extreme Rules pay-per-view rematch on Friday SmackDown TV show. The show will be taped on tomorrow night from Omaha, Nebraska. The WWE website continues to play up to the possibility of Paul Heyman representing a third wrestler. Read their story at WWE.com. Heyman also promoted the story by running it on his HeymanHustle.com website. Thanks to all readers who pass along the story. And I was thinking of old school Paul Heyman guy as RVD. Well, it still could be possible. And another friend of mine had said that CM Punk has fired Paul Heyman as his man. Well, that hasn't been confirmed yet. Okay, WWL website also started playing up the possibility last week, and it's hard to say whether it was designed to generate web traffic or it was tied in with the upcoming storylines, with CM Punk out of the picture for now, and Brock Lesnar working limited dates and likely disappearing again. For the time being, it seems like a logical move to align someone with Heyman, as they did on Raw, as you will see who it was later on, so that he has a role on television. Lanny Poffo addressed the anniversary of WWE legend Macho Man Randy Savage's death by telling TMZ that he and his mother went out for a special lunch at Olive Garden in Tampa, Florida. And Lanny had said that they chose to focus on the good times rather than his death. Poffo also noted that Savage's widow was having a tough time getting through the day. I have to be strong for my family now, Poffo said. I'm just glad to have had him as a brother and want to celebrate his life as much as I can instead of continuing to mourn. And you can read the full story at TMZ.com. Macho Man died 2 years ago today when he had a cardiac event while driving. His widow Lynn was a passenger in the vehicle at the time of his death. WWE legend Macho Man was featured in a lengthy piece called The Final Days of Randy Savage that was written by Keith Elliott Greenberg for BleacherReport.com. The story features quotes from Savage's brother Lanny and his mother Judy and Jimmy Hart. An excellent and highly recommended read that definitely covers more than the final days of Savage's life. And thanks to the .net member Highspot for passing along the story. Again, WWE star Glenn Jacobs, who wrestled with Kane, is making headlines for challenging Tennessee Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey to a debate to propose the internet sales tax legislation. And you can read his news story on the challenge he issued in a blog on JohnsonCityPress.com. And also Jacobs wrote his blog at tnliberty.org. He is listed as the co-founder of the Tennessee Liberty Alliance. And now what everybody's been waiting for, the spoilers for Superstars taping for this week, thanks to Anthony Giovanvagnoli and Carl Hovey, who attended Monday's Raw in Kansas City, and set the following results. Match number 1, Brodus Clay, Sweet Tea, Cameron and Naomi defeated the Usos and the Bella Twins in a mixed tag match, as Clay pinned one of the Usos to win the match for his team. Match number 2, who advertised this match on his Facebook account, Alex Riley lost to Damien Sandow. He didn't give the results, but he just said he watches the match on Superstars this week. WWE Raw from the USA Network from Kansas City, Missouri at the Sprint Center. And Raw opened with an ambulance driving through the backstage area into the arena as Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and JBL checked in on commentary. The ambulance, the siren, wailed as it parked on the side of the stage. Ryback exited the back of the ambulance with a mic in hand and his music played. The announcers recapped the WWE Championship match that occurred at Extreme Rules. Ryback climbed onto the top of the ambulance and said that the result of his match at Extreme Rules was a no decision. He said Cena didn't walk away, he was carried away. Footage aired of Cena refusing to go to the hospital after the pay-per-view. Ryback guaranteed that Cena won't refuse to go next time. And Ryback challenged Cena to an ambulance match at Extreme Rules. Well, they've already had Extreme Rules. Well, it's supposed to be Payback pay-per-view. Ryback guaranteed the man in the back of the ambulance will be John Cena. Ryback insulted the fans for calling them fat, pathetic, weak people of society. Who does he think he was? Bob Backlund? I have nothing in common with any of you, as Ryback said. He said that the fans have no idea what it's like to wake up wanting to be the best. You are all lost souls of society, yet you worship John Cena, Ryback said. He also said that it is absolutely pathetic. He said that the fans know nothing about busting their asses every day or nutrition. He said he will take John Cena and all the fans with him to the morgue at the WWE Payback pay-per-view. He said there's only one fact of life, and that's Ryback rules. Announcers then spoke about Ryback's segment and said Paul Heyman has confirmed that he is a third member of this group. And Jerry King Lawler hyped Chris Jericho and The Miz versus Wade Barrett and Fandango for after the break. Well, a strong segment, an attention-grabbing moment, opening with the ambulance and a confident Ryback promo in which he will finally go after the fans. That was really missing from his previous mic work. My only complaint is that I felt that he should have spent more time griping over the finish of the match and claiming that he should be WWE Champion. As for Heyman's third man, I thought it could have been Ryback, but nah. Because everybody was thinking he was more with Shield, and I was thinking he was more with Shield myself. But because Heyman could have been all over how his newest client was wronged by the finish, even so, that's a good hook that should get viewers to stay tuned. Then they showed a graphic touting that over 170 million videos were watched on WWE's various online platforms. Coleslaw read an ad for Sonic as fans were shown drinking the shakes at ringside. Wow, last week or the week before they had pizza. Now they have Sonic. Lawler said he had a caramel shake over the weekend. Insert your own heart attack joke there. Ring entrances for the tag match took place. Wade Barrett has new entrance music. That was kind of strange to me. Match number 1, Chris Jericho and The Miz versus Wade Barrett Fandango with Summer Rae in their corner. Coleslaw said that Miz is still due for a rematch against Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title. During the match, they aired footage from an interview with Road Dogg that was being showed on the WWE app as they go to commercial break. WWE really wants viewers to watch app interviews at the same time they have a match airing on Raw. Man, they are really going after that. The AD demographic, or the ADD, attention deficit disorder demographic. After the break, Fandango introduced himself on the mic and at ringside while Barrett and The Miz were wrestling. Fandango and Summer Rae started dancing. Barrett wasn't too happy about it. Jericho checked in and worked over on Barrett while Fandango and his lady continued to dance. Jericho performed a lion salt and a code breaker on Barrett, then tagged in Miz, who applied the figure 4 for the win. After the match, Jericho and Miz went to the ringside on opposite sides to corner Fandango. However, Fandango jumped over the guardrail and ran away, leaving Summer Rae at ringside. The fans chanted, Y2J, Y2J. Jericho put his hand out, and she once again accepted his invite for a dance. She looked like she wanted to kiss, but Jericho laughed and blew her off. I've seen all of this so far. Jericho and The Miz defeated Wade Barrett and Fandango in 8 minutes. The announcers teased details on Brock Lesnar versus Triple H cage match from Extreme Rules and said Paul Heyman would reveal his third client. Commercial break. Fandango dancing at ringside rather than wrestling was more silly and annoying than anything. Summer is off to an odd start. She danced with Jericho, then faked an injury so that he could be attacked, and went back to dancing with him again this week. I knew a girl like that in high school. Vicky Guerrero did the excuse me routine and then announced that Jack Swagger would face the Great Khali, R-Truth, or Randy Orton, and said the only way that that y'all could vote was download the app and go to vote. The announcer spoke about the app, and then Cole said the polls aren't open yet. WWE is really making me hate their app. You should download the free ProWrestling.net app just to spite them. Hey, at least I won't mention it 700 times tonight. Backstage, Daniel Bryan told Kane that neither one of them are tag team champions. And Kane said all the negativity isn't productive. And all the negativity that's in this own stuff. Bryan said he feels naked without the titles. Kane pointed out that Bryan wasn't wearing a shirt or pants. Fortunately, he was wearing his ring gear. Bryan got upset about Kane cracking jokes and then got worked up when he felt Kane labeled him the weak link of the team. Kofi Kingston showed up and got them to calm down. Bryan told them that he would see both of them in the ring. Cole announced the trio would meet the Shield later on the show. Sheamus made the entrance heading into the break as they go to commercial. .NET reader Carl Hovey is at Raw and noted that Chris Jericho was cut during the tag match and was tended to by trainers at ringside as the match continued. I kind of did see his forehead bleeding when he was actually got done with dancing with Summer Rae. And then Cole saw plug voting for the app would open later. And they showed still photos that were shown of the strap match that happened at the pay-per-view. Footage aired of Mark Henry stating afterward that he was going home. And yeah, I did see that. And then we finally get match number 2, Sheamus vs. Titus O'Neil with Darren Young. And now it was noted that Titus O'Neil made comments about Sheamus during the Extreme Rules post show that led to this match. And Titus got a round of offense in before Sheamus made his comeback. Sheamus hit some of his signature spots and then scared off Young from interfering briefly. However, Young tripped up Sheamus when he was on the ring apron. O'Neil capitalized and scored a 2 count. Titus missed a shoulder block in the corner. Sheamus came back with a white noise and then nailed the road kick for the win. And the match only took 6 minutes, 30 seconds out of our lives. Cole saw hype that Paul Heyman will reveal his latest client after commercial. During the match, Josh Matthews interviewed Vicky Guerrero on the app. I have no effing clue what she said or what the Raw broadcast team was saying during her interview because WWE's revolutionary new way to watch television sucks ass. As for the match, I like the way that Titus's comments on the post-show set up this match. It helps make the post-show feel more relevant and gave the match a story. One of the Jonas brothers is the social media ambassador for this week. Ring announcer Justin Roberts introduced Paul Heyman, who walked to the ring without music. Heyman said that he gets booed when the Paul Heyman guy exposes the heroes of the fans. Heyman told the fans boo to him all they want. Heyman said that their boos won't change the historical fact that Brock Lesnar defeated Triple H in a cage match. Heyman continued to gloat over Lesnar's win and how Triple H will go down as a loser in the record book. He said Lesnar is enjoying the spoils of war while Hunter had to truck his sledgehammer between his legs and run home to mommy. Heyman said he believes it's time for something new and something different. He said it's time to give the WWE Universe a moment they set their DVRs for to watch 10 years later from now. He said it's a moment where fans will say history took a left turn. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to hit record because I, Paul Heyman, stand before you this evening and give you the newest Paul Heyman guy. And he said Curtis Axel, a.k.a. Joe Hennig, Michael McGillicuddy, as his music played, "I have arrived," Axel said at ringside. Once in the ring, Axel and Heyman hugged and the fans booed. Heyman said that the fans proved him right again. He said he warned his client this week this would be their reaction. He said it's the same reaction the fans gave when they gave them Brock Lesnar in 2002. The same reaction they gave in 2006 when he gave them CM Punk. Heyman spoke of Axel's pedigree and noted that he's a third-generation superstar. Heyman said he wants to carve out his own niche and make his own legend in WWE. Heyman said that they took his father, Mr. Perfect's given name, Kurt, and paid homage to his grandfather, Larry the Axe Ending. Heyman said that they created a new brand in the form of Curtis Axel. When the fans didn't cheer, Heyman reintroduced him, and this time the boos got louder. Triple H's music played, and Heyman smiled as he watched over Hunter. As he watched, Hunter made his entrance. Meanwhile, the announcers praised Axel. Triple H said Heyman could really whip up a batch of Kool-Aid. Axel tried to interrupt, but Hunter told him the adults were trying to have a conversation. But he was actually talking to Kurt. Triple H said he's not embarrassed about what happened at Extreme Rules. You're damn right, he beat me. Just like I beat him at WrestleMania, Triple H said. He added that Lesnar beat him, but he didn't just walk away. He limped away from the battle. Triple H said that he was backstage when he thought it would make him happy to come out and beat up Heyman just because he knows he can. Axel stepped up. Hey, I don't think you understand the game around here has changed, he said. You want to talk to him? How about you talk to me first? Triple H smirked. Heyman laughed. And maniacally, Triple H slapped Axel across the face and knocked him down in the process. You know what? I just changed my mind, Hunter said. First, I'm going to have a match tonight with you. And when I get done kicking your ass, I'm going to kick yours, Heyman. And then the announcers hyped Alberto Del Rio versus Big E Langston for after the break. Joe Hennig was told people for well over a year now that he's been assured he was on the verge of getting pushed, and that Triple H was complimentary of his work. I am curious to see whether he's just a quick fall guy, or if they're really going to try to make him big. We should get a pretty good feel for their intentions later in the show. Heyman said Heyman and Triple H were both good on the mic, but Axel stood out for the wrong reasons. With his brief mic time, of course, that can be covered by Heyman if they are serious about pushing him. The new name doesn't jump out at me, but it beats the hell out of Michael McGillicuddy. In-ring introductions for the next match took place. Ricardo brought the stupid bucket out with him for the introduction again. The announcer spoke about Del Rio becoming #1 contender last night at the instant replay controversy. Langston had chalk on his hands and clapped his hands was part of an entrance. Kevin Garnett would love it. The announcers noted that Axel's name was trending on Twitter. Match number 3, Alberto Del Rio with Ricardo Rodriguez versus Big E Langston with AJ Lee. Del Rio went for the cross-arm breaker as Langston standing on the floor. Langston used his strength to carry Del Rio out of the ring and then went to whip him into the ring post. Del Rio hit Langston with 2 clotheslines that didn't knock him down. Del Rio fired up for the third and took him off his feet. Del Rio followed up with a backstabber and a super kick. Later, AJ threw Ricardo's stupid bucket into the ring and distracted the referee. Langston poked Del Rio in the eye and then hit the big ending and pinned him. And that match only took 4 minutes 35 seconds. And then they aired footage from Ryback's segment to open the show. Coleslaw hyped the 6-man tag. Then Lawler hyped the Triple H being in action for the first time in over 3 years on Raw for a match against Curtis Axel. Then they go to commercial and then come back from a commercial and add airing for Friday SmackDown, hyping the Go Home edition for Extreme Rules and the Triple Threat ladder match with Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, and Jack Swagger. I haven't seen nothing on that at all. They really played the ad again. Meanwhile, here's hoping that the bucket ending leads to Del Rio vowing to fire Ricardo if he ever brings that stupid bucket with him ringside again. Okay, hey, I wonder what's happening on WWE app right now. Match number 4, AJ Lee versus Layla. The Bella Twins were shown commenting on the match for the app. And forget what I asked about it. Layla was dominating the match when AJ caught her in her Black Widow. AJ Lee defeated Layla by submission in 2 minutes. Coleslaw informed the world that the voting is now open on the app for the Jack Swagger opening segment. Her opponent, and Lawler hyped the Triple H versus Kurt Axel match. Okay, alright. Coleslaw, okay, I already did that. Match number 5, Cody Rhodes versus Jack Swagger. The match was joined in progress. They showed Ryback watching the match for the app. Rhodes got the win with a beautiful disaster kick. After the match, Ryback walked to the ring. Rhodes left, leaving Ryder to be destroyed. Cody Rhodes defeated Zack Ryder in 2 minutes 30 seconds of TV time. Ryback paced around following the Ryder and then yelled for him to get up. Once he did, Ryback hit him with a meat hook clothesline. Ryback followed up with a shell shot. But only after telling the viewers that he rules. Hell, Ojo rules! He picked him up, marched around the ring, and performed shell shots again. Ryback dumped Ryder to ringside, then hoisted him on his shoulders and carried him to the ambulance and placed him inside. And now just hype the Shield versus Team Hell No. And Kofi Kingston for after the break. Yeah, you would have watched the WWE app to watch someone else watch what you could have been watching on your own TV. As for the beatdown, this is pretty much what I wanted them to do last week when Ryback won in one minute squash fashion without showing any of the brutality it displayed here. This was much better, well, unless you're Zack Ryder. And we get Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns making their entrance to the crowd. Ambrose came out of his own section, while Reigns and Rollins entered through their own section. There was previously Reigns coming out of his own section. Ambrose said that they brought power back to the titles they won. And Ambrose also said Kofi and Team Hell No did not believe. But now they do. He took credit for the Rock losing the WWE Championship and needing surgery. He said that they drove Ryback to snap and attack John Cena. Rollins said that the fans now see what a cohesive unit looks like and what an unbreakable looks like. You can see the future, he said. The scary part is, boys, this is just the beginning. Reigns said that the ending stays the same. You put them in front of us, and we take them out. He said, we run this yard, and we carry the collars to back it up. They all held up the title belts. Ambrose said that the fire of justice is burning bright, and they are the flames. Believe in the Shield. He said before Kane and Daniel Bryan made their entrance. As they go to commercial break, And now we get match number 6. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns versus Kane, Daniel Bryan, and Kofi Kingston. The Shield isolated Kingston early on. And Michael Cole reset the show and hyped Heyman's latest client, Curtis Axel, as his match with Triple H. As the match continued, Daniel Bryan eventually took a hot tag and went on offensive flurry. He clotheslined Rollins, who took a nasty bump on the side of his head. Bryan went to the top rope, but Rollins tripped him up and then tagged in Ambrose. Bryan shoved Ambrose off the top rope and caught him with a missile drop kick for a 2 count, and the crowd was counting along with the ref. Bryan went for a Borgasm lock, but Ambrose reached the ropes before he could lock it in. Bryan knocked Rollins off the ring apron, and the 3 babyfaces stood tall, heading into a commercial break. Coleslaw Plug's exclusive app again content of the match heading into the break, which was the first good app plug out of all of them thus far. As they go to commercial, after the break, Shield ended up taking control of the match. Offense and worked over Bryan. He fired a few punches at Reigns, but Reigns cut him down with a knee and then tagged in Ambrose. JBL noted that Shield members all bring something different. He cited the strength of Reigns, the chaotic style of Ambrose, and the speed of Rollins. Ambrose tagged in and slapped Bryan around while he and Rollins taunted him by calling him the weak link and asking him what he had left in him. Bryan got a shot in on Ambrose and tagged in Reigns. Bryan fought off Reigns and made a hot tag to Kane. He performed his signature spots on Reigns, including a side slam for a 2 count. Kingston and Bryan performed stereo suicide dives onto Ambrose and Rollins, leaving Kane and Reigns in the ring. Kane caught Reigns with a DDT for another good 2 count. And the crowd counted along with. On the floor, Rollins ran Kingston into the ring post. Ambrose took out Bryan. Kane sets up the choke slam Reigns. Ambrose left off the top rope, but Kane caught him. Rollins leapt off the other corner and caught Kane with a knee. Reigns followed up with a spear on Kane and pinned him to win the match. The Shield defeated Kane, Daniel Bryan, and Kofi Kingston in 23 minutes. A very good match with a receptive crowd that was really hot for the near fall. I really hope Creative isn't thinking about turning Daniel Bryan heel. His offensive flurry is one of the most crowd-pleasing moments in wrestling, and the guy definitely has a big-time babyface singles run in him. Highlight there to Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel, and Triple H segment from earlier in the show. Backstage segment, a trainer entered Triple H's room and told him that the doctor didn't think he was able to compete. Triple H said that if the doctor doesn't like it, he can seek employment elsewhere. Coleslaw Plug, the voting for the Jack Swagger match starts now. Did the company executive really just tell the doctor that he calls the shots or the doctor will be fired? Wow. Anyways, the question now is whether that that was an excuse for Hunter to lose or set up for him looking even more heroic. And Coleslaw said that there were 11,170 fans in attendance. No wonder they didn't mention the attendance at the top of the show. The announcers plugged Sonic again. Backstage, Caitlyn told Natalya that she has the number of her secret admirer now. Natalya wanted to give the number to Khali, but Caitlyn wouldn't do it. Cody Rhodes walked by and asked if they were checking out his love stash. They took his phone and discovered that he was posting photos of himself on the internet. Didn't they rule out Cody a couple of weeks ago? Swagger makes his entrance. Coleslaw said that there were over 160,000 votes cast on the WWE app. And Jeremy King Lawler stood up and delivered the shocking results of the poll. 72% of the fans actually voted for Orton. 19% voted for Khali, and only 9% voted for R-Truth. Randy Orton makes his entrance for the match as they go to commercial break. Right now on the WWE app, R-Truth lies to himself about losing a vote to Khali by chalking it all up to popularity in India. Okay, not really. I wonder if they even bothered to bring R-Truth or Khali in for this. So we get match number 7, Randy Orton versus Jack Swagger with Zeb Colter. Coleslaw said that Colter ranted about the way Swagger lost on the app. The announcers debated the outcome and it be restarted. Swagger targeted Orton's knee when he was on the offense. Orton came back and attempted a hanging DDT off the apron, but Swagger avoided it and rammed him back first into the barricade and the ring apron. A short time later, Swagger knocked Orton off the ropes and down to the floor heading into the break. Apparently the world is laughing at R-Truth, as he is trending on Twitter following his lousy showing in the fan voting. After the break, Orton came back with a superplex. Swagger came back and got a 2 count with a belly-to-belly suplex. Orton came back with Swagger with a kick, and he was coming off the ropes. Orton went into his signature offense, and he went for the draping DDT. Swagger came back with another suplex for a 2 count. The fans are yelling 2 instead of buying into Orton's 2 count. Swagger went for the Patriot Lock, but Orton shoved him away. Orton once again went for the hanging DDT and connected this time, even though the setup was the worst of the bunch because he dragged Swagger over to the corner after talking to him on the mat. Orton set up for his finisher, but Swagger avoided the RKO and applied the Patriot Lock. Orton eventually kicked his way out of it. Moments later, Orton hit the RKO on Swagger and pinned him. And the match took 16 minutes out of our lives. I thought the use of instant replay in the I Quit match would have been a bigger talker on this show. I suppose it could be on SmackDown, but even the announcers were talking about the restart more than the replay. The match had a slower pace, but it built nicely to the finish, and Swagger looked competitive even though the fans didn't buy into near falls on Orton. Footage was shown of Ryback's promo on the top of the ambulance that kicked off the show 17 hours ago. And then Ryback roughing up Zack Ryder and putting him inside the ambulance. The announcers hyped the Triple H versus Curtis Axel main event. And ad for SmackDown hyping Dean Ambrose versus Kofi Kingston for the U.S. title. Match number 8, your main event, Triple H versus Curtis Axel with Paul Heyman. Coleslaw said the doctors were worried about Triple H because of the sledgehammer shot to the jaw that Triple H took from Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules. Axel's entrance music is an up-tempo remake of Mr. Perfect of his daddy's entrance. The live crowd was hot for Hunter's entrance, quiet for Axel's entrance, and quiet once the bell rang to start the match. Triple H jumped out to an early advantage with a couple of clotheslines. Hunter remained on the offense until Axel caught him with a good drop kick. Axel had a couple of minutes of offense, but Triple H came back with the same shoulder block in the corner that Brock Lesnar used on him. Triple H performed the spine buster, played to the crowd, and then put his head down and shook his head. Hunter cleared Axel from the ring and blinked a couple of times while shaking his own head. Hunter followed Axel to ringside and took a couple of punches, then fired back with a clothesline. Triple H struggled to get back inside the ring. He stopped and shook his head again. He went over to a medical team member and sat down. He asked for water and then poured it on himself. Triple H stood up and started to head back to the ring, but he stopped. The trainer shined a light in Hunter's eye, and he acted like the light bothered him. The trainer gave the cut sign to the referee. Triple H stood up from the chair and fell over. The trainer told Hunter to take some deep breaths. Coleslaw said the doctor should have not allowed Hunter to get in the ring to begin with. Hunter struggled to get up from the floor as two trainers and a referee tried to get him to stay down to close the show. Triple H fought Curtis Axel to an apparent no contest at 7.5 minutes. Holy shit, Curtis Axel is an overnight sensation after the match. Okay, not really. The angle was all about Hunter and Axel didn't gain anything from it. It's really hard to get a feel for how committed they are to his push after one show. This felt like a middle of the show angle rather than a show closer. It was pretty flat to end Raw, and I don't think the average fan is going to be nearly as amped to get an update on Hunter's condition as WWE officials think they will be. I could be wrong, though, if there is enough people who were left wondering whether that was a shout or a shoot situation. Even so, it didn't do anything for me. Overall, this was a decent show with a very good six-man tag match, a good opening promo from Ryback, and the announcement of Paul Heyman's newest client. I know Curtis Axel isn't for everyone, but the tease of a new man for Heyman alone was intriguing, even if the end result was not initially satisfactory for the most. John Cena sitting out was the right move since he needed to sell his injuries. However, it felt like they breezed over some of the issues I expected to be big talkers coming out of the pay-per-view, such as the finish to the Cena versus Ryback match and the use of instant injuries. However, it felt okay. It felt they. It's a replay. And Carl Hovey attended Monday's Raw and sent in the dark match main event from Kansas City, Missouri. Result: Triple H went to the back after Raw went off the air. And your main event, dark match was John Cena and Alberto Del Rio defeating Ryback and Jack Swagger. And Cena pinned Swagger to win the dark match main event for his team. And they advertised the return date for October 14th for Raw TV show again. Pre-sale password for Raw TV is Raw TV. And it begins tonight, so you can buy your tickets ahead of time, starting Friday. And that ends my results for Raw and Superstars this week. Thanks again. Peace out.